This comes to you from the Huntington Hartford Theater in Hollywood.
The last gas stop until the next offshore oil spill.
Mel Tillis, what do you do just for laughs?
I sell cookies for a man named Harry. I've been with him for 2 weeks. I ain't sold one cookie. I don't blame the people. I wouldn't eat a Harry cookie either.
I go into my son's room and look for the floor. Yes, I
I drive my Rolls Royce down to the yacht basin, and I take my 80-foot cruiser out for a sail, except on Tuesday, when I go for my unemployment insurance.
I race O.J. Simpson through airports.
You do? Kinky.
Lenny Schultz, what do you do just for laughs?
I play the beach chair. Watch. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are.
As long as you got your health.
This hour is Just for Laughs. Starring Rita Moreno, super starring Jerry Stiller, super duper starring Meara, co-starring country star Mel Tillis, and city star Jan Murray, comedy star LaWanda Page, special comedy star Lenny Schultz, introducing to stardom George Miller, reintroducing to stardom Tom Dreesen, previously established star Jackie Kahane, extra special star Jackie Mason, fast rising star Jay Leno, future star Jonathan Moore, and star of past, present, and future Pat Buttram.
Hello, I'm Rita Moreno. The program you're about to see was taped in advance, and actually, I'm really at home watching me, and I'd like to say something to myself. Rita, wake up.
For all you folks who may be tired of country and western, well, here's something special for you. It's city and eastern.
Bernice, it's time we faced up to the truth. Our relationship is just not working out.
You worm. Is that what you brought me here to tell me?
More tea?
No more tea. I have had enough tea. Just get to the point.
Don't be so impatient.
I am not impatient. Impatient? Who is impatient? Get to the point.
The point is you're impatient.
I am impatient. You are impatient. You, Bert Barkovitz.
You're also too loud.
Loud? I'll give you loud.
You're always shouting.
You make me shout. Is this any better, you disagreeable little toad?
Must you always put me down?
I don't put you down. I never put you down. Now just stop beating around the bush and tell me what is on your tiny, warped, little mind.
Very well, Bernice. You're just entirely too jealous of me.
Don't make me laugh. What do I have to be jealous about?
Nothing. That's just the point. You're just too suspicious by nature.
Just what do I have to be suspicious about?
You're also demanding.
How dare you?
See?
You take that back immediately.
You're also belligerent.
Why, I ought to punch you right smack among your nose. You dare to say I am belligerent? You take that back, Bert Barkovitz.
Okay. I take it back.
Good. That's nice. That's better. Now, just tell me, quite honestly, why you feel the relationship won't last. The truth.
All right, Bernice Mulligatawny. The truth is, you're just too damn possessive.
Possessive? Well, that does it. Come on, let's get out of here. Heel.
Oh, on TV it's hard to be funny, no matter how well your intention. Cause the networks who pay us this money also tell us what we cannot mention. I'd sing you more of it, folks, but you know what? I just like the old tomcat who said with the skunk that was making out with the skunk. I've enjoyed just about as much of this as I can stand.
Today, patriotic Americans are saving energy by forming carpools. On California freeways, they save even more because they can't move.
Well, looks like we'll be late for work again today, you turkey.
Just let's relax, LaWanda, please.
Yeah, relax. Everybody's got to relax. Even the President of the United States has to relax, Jimmy Carter. He relaxes by going fishing. I understand that he don't use any bait on his fish hook. He just puts a little note on there that says, "Trust me."
I heard something today. It's supposed to be a true story, too, about this woman went to her son's room to wake him up. He said, "Son, you have to get up. It's time to go to school." He said, "I don't want to go to school. I hate school. I'll never go to school again as long as I live." She said, "Now, that's silly. Give me 2 good reasons why you don't want to go to school." He said, "Because the pupils hate me and the teachers hate me." She said, that's not good enough. You have to go to school." He says, "Oh, yes? Well, give me 2 good reasons why I have to go to school." She said, "Because you're 49 years old and you're the principal."
You know, a lady friend of mine died and went to heaven. And when she got up there, St. Peter met her at the gate. He said, "Lady, what did you die from?" She said, "Sinus trouble." He said, "No, you must mean sinus trouble." She said, "No, I mean sinus trouble." She said, "My boyfriend and I was coming out of a motel and my husband seen us."
Backed by popular demand, including his own, the irrepressible Jackie Mason.
It's all right, I can't be a hit with everybody. Some people like you, some don't. You think you could please everybody? Let's be honest about it. I don't care who you are. You cannot please everybody. Like, I have a girlfriend. My girlfriend to me is the most wonderful, most remarkable person in the world. That's to me. But to my wife? Why do you think President Carter is getting so mad and disturbed about making a moral crusade in this country? And he's right about the immorality that's going on, and he wants to change it. Did you hear what President Carter said? Look how nobody listens to him. Is he talking to himself lately? I stopped listening to him, too. I've always wondered why makes a guy walk around laughing all the time. The conferences are going on all over the world. Pressures and problems are going on all over the world. There's no peace in the Middle East. There's no peace in Asia. There's no peace in Africa. Unemployment is worse than ever. Inflation is going terrible. Everything in the world is in a turmoil. And he keeps laughing. I keep wondering, maybe he don't know that he got the job. I got news for you. That's a strategy. That's how he beat Ford in those debates. Remember those debates? Ford was firm and definite, and he kept laughing. And Ford was going crazy, wondering, what's the joke? I lost my place. He's a brilliant man, Ford. But he's not as brilliant as Carter, because Carter knows how to run a campaign. He's on both sides of every question. Whatever you want. You could have it. How about this? You could have that, too. I'm still waiting for that $50 rebate that he promised me. Remember that campaign? During that campaign, he promised everything to everybody. He promised so much, I heard a rumor that Ford voted for him. That's right. They asked him, how do you feel about abortion? He said, I'm against it. Unless the girl is pregnant, that's another story. I love President Carter. He's such a great man. He knows every issue inside out. He understands it perfectly, and he explains it to you perfectly. The only thing you can't figure out is how come, if he knows everything so well, he can't do nothing about it. He's on television every week explaining to you how he didn't do nothing about something he explained to you last week. Then he comes back on television telling you he almost did it, but not now. Then next week, how do you like that? I'm coming close. Missed again. He's on television every week. He didn't want to be president. He wanted his own show. Did you hear his energy program? Who am I talking to? His energy program. Albert Einstein in his best day could never figure out his energy program. Did you hear about it? If you have a small car, you get your money back in taxes if you didn't buy too much gas. But if you bought too much gas, you get half of it back only if you're very poor. If you have a little money, you get a part of it back if the rest of the country didn't use too much. If they use too much gas, you get nothing back on the small car, but you pay more for the big one. Now, if you have solar energy in your house, you pay less taxes on your house, more for the big car, nothing for the small one. And then you have to walk into the streets every day seeing how much gas is being used by whom. Want me to tell you the truth? Compared to this, I loved President Ford. Ford didn't get involved with problems. He knew it's none of his business, and he didn't. He knew that he didn't get this job to worry about problems. To him, it was problem enough just getting on a plane without an accident. And I was raised under Franklin D. Roosevelt when he was president. That man sounded like a president. When he talked, you believed him, even if you didn't know what he was talking about. Because you knew this was a president. You ever hear Roosevelt talk? I should like to say what I said before, but I should like to say it again and again and again. People ask me why I say again what I said before. I wasn't listening before. But you see, Roosevelt and Truman, they proved something in the White House. Roosevelt proved you could spend a lifetime being president. Then Truman proved that anybody could become president. Now, Ford and Carter are proving that we don't need a president.
People often ask, where are the new comedians coming from? Well, here's one who comes from Rego Park, New York. But before I announce his name, may I have a drum roll, please? That should be warning enough. Here's the new Laughing's resident certified pistachio nut, Lenny Schultz. Okay, Lenny, we've seen your drum imitation. What else do you do?
The Lenny Schultz Speed Music Course. The first instrument you will learn will be the violin.
Oh, I like the violin. That's a nice instrument.
Lesson 1.
Yeah?
Place recorder on shoulder in a comfortable position.
Sure, okay.
Good. Lesson 2. Pick up your bow.
Bow?
You can't play a violin with a shoe.
You're right. Wait a minute. I have a bow right here. I got a bow. I didn't understand you. I got the bow.
Now place it on the recorder and move it up and down on signal.
Okay, okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Begin. The next instrument is the harmonica.
Oh, the harmonica. I like the harmonica. I hope it's just as easy as the violin.
Easier.
Easier, boy, easier.
Ready?
Of course I'm ready. Of course.
Blow.
You can have the Lenny Schultz Speed Music Kit. Send $11,000 in cash and a cookie to this man, care of the Utah State Home for the Extremely Weird.
Deerskin comes from the Northeast, alligator from the South. cowhide from the southwest, horsehide from the midwest, and sealskin from the northwest. And that's a look at today's leather map.
I gotta tell you about my friend, honey. My friend's really got herself some really dumb kids. Now take her twins, Phil and Refill. Them some dumb boys. Now Phil came home with a paper bag one day and Refill asked him what's in the bag. And Phil said fresh donuts. And Refill says, if I guess how many you got, will you give me one of them? And Phil says, you guess how many donuts I got in this bag and I'll give you both of them. And Refill says, 5.
You know, I was thinking about what life must have been like before there were cars. And I heard one about this in the Old West. This little Jewish cowboy drove into town, tied his horse up to the saloon, walked inside, had 2 beers, came out, and he noticed somebody had painted his horse's backside yellow. Boy, he got so angry, he walked in the saloon. He said, all right, who did that? Who was the dirty coward that took a paintbrush and painted my horse's tushy yellow? If that filthy coward will stand up. And his big Texan stood up, grabbed his little guy, and said, I was the one painted your horse's backside yellow. What about it? He says, I just wanted to tell you the first 2 coats are dry already.
That's it. I'm through. Washed up.
What are you talking about?
$100,000 is missing from the bank. They think I took it. Do you know what it's like to have your reputation ruined?
Do I know what it's like? The day I married you, my reputation was ruined.
I'm going to commit suicide. It's the only way out.
Don't you dare. I just cleaned that rug.
I'll do it upstairs.
You wake the children.
And I'll do it here. Spread newspapers on the floor.
Why don't you go out to the garage and do it?
You know how my feet swell up in damp cement floors?
Look, you're not going to commit suicide here. That is very selfish of you. I'm having the girls over to play bridge, and I don't want them climbing over your body.
Goodbye, whoever you are. Who? Oh, hello, Mr. Simpson. Yes, sir. He did. Oh, good. Oh, thank you, sir.
What's so good?
Frank McGowan confessed to the crime. He's been stealing $1 a day. My reputation is saved. Mr. Simpson wants me back at the bank in the morning.
Does this mean you're not going to commit suicide?
Folks, I have a lot of problems talking, but I can sing. And they asked me to introduce this next act. I said, yeah, I'll do it, but I'm going to have to sing it. And they said, that's okay with us. Before I introduce this man, I say in self-defense, I didn't write this lyric or the 2 lines coming hence. You all know Annie Meara and her husband, Jerry Stiller. Now meet a new young funny man. Say howdy to George Miller.
Thank you. Thank you very much. People, they always ask you questions if they know you're a comic. They're always curious. Sometimes they're nosy. They say, are your relatives funny? No, not especially. They're not really funny at all. My Uncle Paul has a great philosophy about life. He gets up every morning and he says, forget about yesterday, that was in the past. Don't worry about tomorrow, that's in the future. Just live each day in the present. Live each day to its fullest. Then he goes back to bed. I always felt sorry for my mom growing up in Seattle because, I don't know, she always had to work an outside job. She was putting my dad through prison. Well, my sister was another one in the family I felt sorry for because she was one of these people. She had this complex. See, she felt she was odd-looking. And I don't know, I never thought she was that odd-looking, but she was always, you know, real self-conscious about her noses. And at one point for a couple of months, we lived with my grandparents. They were getting along in years, you know, and I think because of their influence, to this day, I still get along well with elderly people, unless they brag about their age. You've all been victims of that. Look at me. I'm 94 years old. Well, good. That means you'll be passing away soon. My grandparents were real religious, you know, fire and brimstone, boy. If you're not good, you're going to hell. And I grew up fearing that. I got to be good. There couldn't be a worse possible fate. But my attitude changed a couple years ago because I saw that movie, The Exorcist. Remember the demon? The demon says something like, "Your mother does perverted acts in hell." I thought, well, maybe it's bad, but apparently they do have a recreation period. Kid I remember when I was growing up was David Felch. David was like 6 years old and he weighed about 400 pounds. And you know how mean other kids can be? Fatty, 2x4, can't get through the kitchen door. Which is not only mean, it was also inaccurate. Obviously, he'd been through the kitchen door thousands of times. David was best friends with my brother, who went on to become an inept doctor. My brother cheated his way through medical school. The guy is really a quack. One time, this patient came to him. He had these yellow stains on the ends of his fingers. My brother diagnosed it as a rare form of jaundice. They found out later the guy had been eating Cheetos. I had to go to my brother's hospital a couple years ago, you know, very low budget. They didn't have very good equipment at that hospital. They didn't even have anything to take my temperature with. The doctor had to use his wife's meat thermometer. It was really strange. I didn't mind taking off all my clothes, but getting into that little pan was embarrassing. I've always had problems with women, whether it was my mother or school teachers or lady friends. I think I have a good approach with the opposite sex. It's usually the same every time, but it works pretty good. I say, I love you. It's not just a physical attraction. It's the real thing. Of course, it loses something if you have to yell it from a passing car. Women will drive you up the wall even if you like them or love them. I went with the same one 3.5 years. Swear to God, never failed 3.5 years. Every time I took her out to a restaurant, she would always pull the same old trick. Well, I want to eat too. Boy, I just hate that. Thank you.
One moment, sir.
That's Senator. I'm a United States Senator.
Sorry. Could you tell us what you do just for laughs?
I just told you. I'm a senator.
That's the first part of Just for Laughs. The second part will be just for loot.
Everybody's traveling nowadays, you know. I know an old couple married 50 years. Wanted to celebrate their second honeymoon. They went to Niagara Falls. Went up there, checked into the same hotel that they had 50 years before, got the same room, went in the room, sat on the same bed, and very slyly she looked over and says, "Paul, will I have time to take off my stockings?" He said, "Mother, you'll have time to knit a pair."
And my crystal ball tells me that your wife is very passionate.
Oh, no. No, my wife is very reserved and shy. Why, even during our honeymoon, we had separate rooms.
Ah, yes. I see a room. And in that room is a king-size bed, a fireplace, a bearskin rug.
Sounds like our bedroom.
And in that room, I see a man.
That must be my friend Charlie. He always drops by for a swim in the afternoon.
Ah, yes, I see his swimming trunks. They're lying on the floor alongside a woman's bikini.
My wife bought a bikini?
And now, a woman is entering the room.
Is it my wife?
Does she have a great big hickey right here?
No.
She does now. He's blowing in her ear. She's crossing the room to her dressing table.
That's where she keeps her aspirin. Every time I blow in her ear, she gets a headache.
She's dabbing herself with perfume.
I guess the aspirin doesn't work anymore.
The man is advancing toward her.
He better watch out. She can be real mean when she gets a headache.
No. He's kissing her fingertips.
Huh?
No. She's kissing his fingertips. You know what they're doing? They're reclining on the bear rug in front of the fireplace.
In front of the fireplace?
Good grief! Whoa! All right!
That's my wife.
Woo!
And my best friend, Charlie.
All right! Oh, there's a many splendid things.
I can't stand any more of this. How much do I owe you?
Introduce me to Charlie. We'll call it even.
Another rapidly rising young comedian is here just for laughs. Meet Jay Leno.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm originally from the United States. Do we have any United States people here tonight? Ah, what a small world. Isn't that funny? You know, this is such a strange business. Because people always come up to me and they always say, like, how did you get started telling jokes? How did you get started, you know, doing comedy? I got started, I think, the way most of the comedians got started. I remember I was in school one day. The teacher said to me, "If it's so funny, Mr. Leno, why don't you stand up and do it for the entire class?" I got up one day, did about 10 minutes. Pretty soon the teacher's charging $5 cover, 2-drink minimum. See, I grew up in Boston. Those of you that don't know Boston, well, you can tell the other people then. Boston is a big college town. See, so a lot of people think it's very hip, very liberal, very permissive. And it is in a lot of ways except one. Like where I went to college in Boston, this is true. You could have girls in your room, could have liquor in your room, could have drugs in your room 24 hours a day if you wanted to. There's only one thing you weren't allowed the entire college. That was a hot plate. Very strange set of standards. Went back to my room one day. My roommate, his girl, her roommate, lying on the bed. 5 joints in his mouth, empty bottle of apple wine on the floor, passed out cold. Figured I'd do a little studying. Studying about 10 minutes, sneak out my hot plate, decided to cook some soup. Hear a knock at the door. Boom, boom, boom. What's going on in there? Nothing, sir, nothing. You got soup in there? I know, so all we got in here is liquor and drugs. Don't lie to me, son. I know you have soup in there. I was a philosophy major for 4 years in college. Had dreams of opening a little philosophy shop when I got out. Life is a cookie, $5. Big movies now are that Close Encounter of the Third Kind and Star Wars and the UFO movie. You know there's going to be a lot of things coming down about UFOs. See, I always wondered, why is it that UFOs never land at MIT or UCLA? They always land in the middle of a swamp where Bob Bookie and his cousin Weenie are out fishing. And these two guys can never tell you anything about the UFO. It was big and yellow! I mean, you could show these two guys a Buick, they wouldn't know what was happening. See, I'd like to see a UFO land in someplace like Times Square, right? Nobody'd notice. Cab drivers be going, come on, move that thing. Old bums be warming their hands. This is nice. I like this. My favorite science fiction show was always Star Trek. I always liked little Scotty, the Scotch guy. Scotty was great. Had 2 lines on Star Trek. Said the same thing every week. I can't get no power, sir. Got no power, left engine. See, if you watch the show regularly, you never saw Scotty with any women on the program. Right? That's because his women always died of Romulan fever or something, you know. Consequently, Scotty was so hyper. Imagine Scotty alone with some woman. I can't do it, girl! I got no power!
there's 3 little men lived in this communistic country, this small country, and it was a little Jewish fellow, an Italian fellow, and a Bulgarian. And they were caught stealing. And at the trial, the judge found them guilty. He says, you're guilty of stealing, but you've been good communists all your lives, so I will not sentence you to prison, but I must punish you. I will sentence you each to 10 lashes of the whip. So he said, however, to tender mercy, you may put anything on your backs that you want to soften the blows. So he turned to the little Italian fella. He says, you're first. What would you like us to put on your back? He says, smear on my back with olive oil, then the whip will slip up and down. I don't feel it a pain. So they smear him with olive oil, and they gave him 10 lashes. He turned to the Bulgarian and said, you're next. What would you like us to put on your back? He says, put nothing on Bulgarian's back. Bulgarian strong man. Bulgarian take punishment like man. Hit, Bulgarian. Go ahead, you hit. Boy, they took that whip. Whack, whack, whack. Gave him 10 lashes. Turned to the little Jewish guy, says, you're next. What would you like us to put on your back? He said, put the Bulgarian on my back.
I got an uncle, greatest salesman in the world, Uncle Jupe, and he sells toothbrushes, thousands of toothbrushes. I wanted to see how he did it, and I followed him, and he gets in front of a theater, and when the crowd comes out, I went out there, and he had a table and a big bowl of dip in one bowl and crackers in the other bowl. And as I come by, he said, would you care for a dip? I said, yes. I took a cracker, I dipped it in the dip, and I put it in my mouth. I said, oh, I said, this tastes like fertilizer. He said, it is. You want to buy a toothbrush?
You beckoned, sir?
I ordered a steak.
That is a steak, sir.
I ordered my steak rare.
Looks rare, sir.
From where you're standing, it might look rare. From where I'm sitting, it's medium.
May I, sir? It's not medium.
It's not rare.
It's medium rare.
I don't want medium rare. I want my steak rare.
Wait a minute, you put salt on it. You should not use salt. You need sauce on this here. You need sauce on it. Sorry, sir. Sorry. Wait a minute. This is delicious. Everything is delicious. And the steak is delicious. This steak is perfect. Hey, wait a minute, you. Where's my tip?
In the preceding drama, the part of the customer was played by Jerry Stiller. The part of the waiter was played by the entire cast of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Green eyeshadow, French perfume, lacy nightgowns, see-through blouses, bikini panties, long gold chains, jangling earrings, Robert Redford, frosted hair, lip gloss, and riding side saddle in the moonlight. This is his list of favorite things. That's why I dumped him.
Welcome, the comedy king of concerts, clubs, and cabarets, Jackie Kahane.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My hobby is reading, and I was reading an article the other day that kind of set me thinking. According to psychologists, they say that today, 1 out of every 4 people is a little nuts. Now, think your 3 best friends. If they're all right, then you're the one. Now, you may say, he's not talking about me, I'm normal. But, are you normal? Let me give you the cuckoo test. Did you ever get up in the middle of the night, turn the light on to see what time it is, but you're not going anywhere? You ever stand out in the rain. Your head is soaking wet, but you do this. If it's raining here, it's got to be raining here. You visit in a friend's house. You go to the bathroom. You use the soap. When you get through with the soap, you wipe the bubbles off the soap. You don't want them to know you use their soap. They have guest towels, but you don't unfold them. You wipe inside a towel. And while you're in there, you peek in the medicine cabinet to see the pills they're taking. And you become paranoid when you're in a bathroom. When you're in a bathroom, you forget your name. You're in a bathroom, there's a knock on the door. What do you yell? Someone's in here! You have people come to your house and say, is it hot in here or is it me? I always say it's you. When you leave, it drops 20 degrees. Watch people. Watch them every day. You'd be surprised how nutty they are. I was on the highway fixing a tire. This cop pulled up. He said, what's the matter, fella? You got a flat? I said, no, officer. I always rotate my tires on the highway. I brought a prescription to the drugstore. Gave it to the clerk. He said, you want this filled? I said, no, it's a hold-up note written in Latin. I'll never forget it. My wife was 8 months pregnant at the time. We walked into this grocery store. The grocer looked at her and he said, gonna have a baby? She said, no, I'm carrying it for a friend. I was in New York. In New York, I saw a man get hit by a car, flew 20 feet in the air, landed on the pavement, both legs broken, he started crawling away. I said, where are you crawling to, man? You're hurt. He said, I don't want to get involved. You watch people every day. I was on a plane, and the guy in the seat next to me said, excuse me, but are you reading that paper you're sitting on? Ladies and gentlemen, you're a fantastic audience. Thank you very much.
As vice president of programs, I get a lot of complaints about loud television commercials. Well, look at it this way. A good, loud television commercial wakes you up in time to go to bed.
We'd be better off to get a horse. We could make better time in this. A fellow down home bought a horse from a preacher the other day. Preacher told him, said, this horse will only go and run if you yell, praise the Lord. In order to stop him, you have to yell, amen. So the fellow got on the horse, he said, praise the Lord. And sure enough, the horse run. He said, praise the Lord. And the horse run faster, and he wanted to stop him. He couldn't think of the word, and the horse is going faster and faster. He finally remembered it. He said, amen, and the horse stopped just in time. He's right at the edge of a 50-foot cliff. A fellow sighed and said, praise the Lord.
Like the traffic is moving.
Okay. All right. Get going, you jive turkey.
This is where we were going to have another commercial. But instead, we found something different to annoy you with. A bagpipe concert. Here's Jonathan Moore.
Sit. Stay. Sit. Sit. Ah, hello, my dearios. How are you? I could tell by the cheers of delight that many of you are familiar with my work, and you've probably read some of the interesting and controversial articles recently written about me in the drama section of Watchtower, so you will know what I do. And many of you have probably noticed I talk funny, and you're probably saying to yourselves, is he English or is he gay? Yes, I am. English? Get that straight right away. But, you know, in California, the immigration got me coming in. They said, you can come in, but you can't work. I said, great, this is the place for me. Isn't that the truth? Wow, but who needs to work? Lovely weather, go lay out on the beach. I don't go to the beach much. I don't get a tan, I fade. I found out why. It's me nose. I'm in my own shadow. If I take off my clothes, I look so bad. Ladies come up and throw towels over me. Call the Coast Guard, Mildred, a body got washed out. Look at that. I was lying under a towel the other day and I felt this warm rain. I looked up, it's a German Shepherd. Everybody has a dog here. Big pickup truck with a huge dog in the back. But have you ever been to somebody's house for the very first time and you don't know that they have a dog? It can be a terrifying moment in your life. You go up, you knock on the door. Come in. Come on in. No way. If you go in, it'll get you. Get down. Get down. Not you, you fool the dog. That's it, he's got you on your back so he can lick your face. Don't let him see you scared. They can tell, he'll rip your leg off. He likes you. Look at him nibbling your ear. Ah, what the heck, you have another one. Don't let him see you scared. They can tell. Oh, you're wearing a tie. You better take it off. He'll drag you around the house. He loves to play. Let him get used to you. That's right. Get up slowly. There you go. Don't sit in that chair. It's his. He'll kill you. As you've been so lovely this evening, I'm going to play you, 2 or 3 hours of bagpipe music. No, I'm going to play you some good stuff right now. I'd stay longer, actually, but have a babysitter waiting for me. Don't have a baby, but where else can you get a cute 17-year-old girl for 50 cents an hour?
If sports shows can have instant replay, so can we. And just for laughs, here are some replays of comedians who have appeared on our shows.
Take my wife, please.
I've tried dieting. I really have. I tried the cottage cheese diet 4 times a day, eat cottage cheese. On the 5th day, I went snowblind.
See, married women don't have ulcers, but they're carriers.
We had a big show, big benefit. Sinatra, he was on the show with me here. It was a big benefit. And Sinatra, I got to say this on the air, is a great humanitarian. You don't know the things that he does for people. Spends money. Right now, he's working on a new project. He's building a halfway house for girls that won't go all the way. Now, I don't know.
My Uncle Charlie used to take me all over. We were inseparable. He took me to the zoo one day. I got to tell you this. And, of course, he was, just going like this. But we had a marvelous time. We were standing in front of the lion's cage. And all of a sudden, one of the lions let out a big roar. One of these, roar, roar. And I turned to Uncle Charlie and I said, hey, let's get out of here. Uncle Charlie just smiled and said, you can't leave now. The picture just started.
I like it. Audiences are different here. If you work around the country, you find out audiences are really different. If you work New York audiences like to shout out what borough they're from. Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan. If you work Chicago, they shout out what street they live on. Halsted, Stony Island, Western Avenue. You come to Hollywood, they shout out their favorite drug. Quaaludes, amphetamines, cocaine.
I like the interviews when they go into the locker room after the game. And they always go into the winning dressing room. Now, although last Super Bowl they went into the losing dressing room, which could be dangerous, because there are guys that do not lose gracefully. Yeah, we lost the game. How'd you figure that out, sucker? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why we lost the game. What do you mean don't lose your temper? I had my down payment on the Mercedes-Benz. Now I got to get me a damn Pinto.
People are so speed-oriented. Like that Evelyn Wood course? You know that speed reading thing where you read with your fingers? I took the course. Had paper cuts all over my hand. Do you know how fast she must read? I mean, I picture guys outside her front door with shovels. More books for Miss Wood! She's reading again!
I just read where people to combat high food prices are actually eating dog food. Now, isn't that terrible? Man works like a dog, now he has to eat like a dog. My brother-in-law was eating dog food, put him in the hospital. Got hit chasing cars.
I never knew that sex was dirty till I went into show business and they told me not to talk about it. Because I always thought sex is life. If sex is dirty, then life is dirty. It's life itself. Let's be honest. Without sex, would you be here? I think you would.
Boy, whose idea was this?
Just for Laughs will not be seen next week because the show's going to have a sex change and come back as Charlie's Angels.
The preceding hour was the result of a group therapy session. Here are the names of that group.
Who wrote this?
Excuse me, before we go on, what do you do just for laughs?
I go shopping with my Bank of Meara card. And when a bill comes in, I put it on my master charge. And when a master charge bill comes in, I put that on my carte blanche. And when a carte blanche comes in, I put it on my American Express. And meanwhile, I look for a rich wife.
Well, I dial information. And when they say, have you consulted your directory, I say, where do you think I got your number?
I load a shopping cart at the market, get in the fast line, and keep eating till I'm down to 10 items or less.
You do? Kinky. As long as you got your health.
Tonight's cast also included Tamara Long, Kim Fields, Hal Cantor, and the melodious monotone of your unseen servant, Jack Harrell.
Remember, early to bed and early to rise helps you miss a lot of television shows, so...
That's it for this show, folks. Please resume normal viewing.